How the hell are you ever in the Labour Party? You're sitting next to a billionaire, or you can say he's got hundreds of millions. It doesn't matter. But the guy was extremely right wing and a member of the royal family. What part of you should have ever been within a socialist party? Obviously, it's not a socialist party right now, but what part of you should have been fighting for a socialist party? It's absolutely disgusting. And it just shows you that words don't mean anything anymore.
I'm as real as a real can get. What you see?
Buongiorno, freaks and geeks. Welcome back to the channel. So it would seem another Jeffrey Epstein photo has hit the timeline, and this time it is featuring both Andrew Mountbatten Windsor and Peter Mandelson. You couldn't make this up. Only a few days ago in a previous video, Peter Mandelson saying that he answered all questions in regards to Jeffrey Epstein correctly. And my response at the time was it honestly? And it would seem it wasn't. At this rate, if Peter Mandelson continues to say things and then is contradicted by revealing evidence, I might have to start going back to church, because there's definitely a God above. And I have to say, I'm going to keep making videos about Peter Mandelson and Jeffrey Epstein until Keir Starmer resigns. Keir Starmer showed a massive error in judgment. Not the first, mind you.
A siege is appropriate? Cutting off power, cutting off water? Sakir?
Well, I think that Israel does have that right.
I mean, it wasn't even the second, third, fourth or fifth bad judgment made by Keir Starmer, and it definitely will not be the last. Anyway, we're going to look at a short segment released by the Sky News channel. I'm going to press play, but before we do, please don't forget to hit the buttons for like, subscribe. Any small acts of support is always welcomed.
Oh, and a new photograph has come to light from the millions of Epstein file documents that have been published by the US Department of Justice. It is the first photo that shows Epstein together with both the former Duke of York, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, and Lord Mandelson, who, of course, lost his job as UK ambassador to the United States over the fallout from the files.
First of all, shout out to whoever is going through those millions of files. I mean, it can't be that exciting. Most of it is just black highlighter, but if you keep digging enough, you're gonna find a bit of treasure like this photo here. I have seen this image if you crop just Jeffrey Epstein and Peter Mandelson, but to see it uncropped is just a thing of delight. Also, in a previous video, I produced a thumbnail, and that thumbnail only shows Jeffrey Epstein being independently linked to Andrew Mountbatten Windsor and Peter Mandelson. But this photo right here reveals that they are extremely linked together. I mean, if you're in a photo with two very known nonces, what does that make you? I think at the very least a suspected nonce. And looking at this photo even closer, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor doesn't look happy at all. Peter Mandelson cannot stop smiling, and oh my goodness, just the composition of the big steen in the back there, like half shadow, half light effect. I mean, golly, a cinematographer would dream for that type of lighting composition and the symbolism in this photo. Like, it's just a marvel to be seen. I mean, Jeffrey Epstein could be cast as the puppet master in the back, the shadowy figure, it's all there. Also, which is very strange, the fact that only Andrew and Peter are in bathrobes. What is the deal when you enter Jeffrey Epstein's residence? Do you have to strip down to your underwear and wear this bathrobe? It makes zero sense. Is he like that character Kilgrave from Jessica Jones? He gives off pheromones that mind controls everyone around him. Because why is he not in a bathrobe? Does he tell people he has an allergy to chlorine in water or something? This has to be either a cult or a very well-known blackmailing scheme. Jeffrey's like, okay, you can come in my house, but under 2 conditions. You have to strip down to your underwear and wear these robes, and there has to be a photo. I mean, the big Steen takes more photos than your current influencer. This is unbelievable. What did people think he was taking all these photos for? So when those aides did that fact-finding inquiry into the relationship between Jeffrey Epstein and Peter Mandelson, I'm guessing this is what they were trying to warn Keir Starmer about, and he still ignored it. Keir Starmer's judgment cannot be trusted at all.
Let's bring in our political correspondent, Lucy McDade. Hello again, Lucy. How significant is this photo, do you think?
Well, it comes at the end of a week where we saw the UK government release the first batch of so-called Mandelson files.
Again, if you have files named after you, in my mind's eye, you're a nonce. Open and shut case.
So Peter Mandelson has been in the headlines all week, and today we've got yet more revelations. As you say, this time from the Epstein files released in January by the US Department for Justice. Millions of files. The fact that we are in March and still more are being uncovered show the sheer scale of what was published there. The first known picture of the 3 men, Peter Mandelson, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, and the paedophile Jeffrey Epstein.
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
You can see 2 of the men, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor and Peter Mandelson, in bathrobes. They're all sitting on a wooden table. Now, ITV has uncovered the photo. They are reporting that it was taken in Martha's Vineyard, an island off Cape Cod in the United States. We don't have a date or a time for the photo. It is similar to a photo that was released last year, and that photo appeared to show Peter Mandelson, again in a bathrobe, with Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, that's the photo I'm talking about that I have seen. I presume it was cropped out to protect Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, but if anything, out of the 2, Andrew and Peter, maybe it should have been Peter that was cropped out, because it's only Andrew that has the allegations of being a nonce.
Now, that was released in this, what was called Epstein's birthday book. It appeared in that book that Peter Mandelson had also penned a letter to Epstein calling him his best friend.
Bro, you're calling a known nonce your bet. Like, how shallow is your friendship pool? Also, something I've actually forgotten to mention. How the hell are you ever in the Labour Party? You're sitting next to a billionaire, or you can say he's got hundreds of millions. It doesn't matter. But the guy was extremely right-wing and a member of the royal family. What part of you should have ever been within a socialist party? Obviously, it's not a socialist party right now, but what part of you should have been fighting for a socialist party? It's absolutely disgusting. And it just shows you that words don't mean anything anymore. It's just like people saying, well, the Nazis were they were socialist because it was the Nationalist Socialist. But no, you idiot. Look at the actions of the people as opposed to what they claim, what titles they claim to hang on their coats or whatever.
We now know that Peter Mandelson's association with Jeffrey Epstein continued past his 2008 imprisonment for soliciting prostitution of a minor. Now, on that ongoing relationship, Peter Mandelson has said, I was wrong to believe Epstein following his conviction and to continue my association with him afterwards.
He pled guilty. What did he tell you? Like, oh yeah, I pled guilty just for the bants. You know, just for the clout, I pled guilty. Like, what do you mean you shouldn't have believed him? Like, you should have believed him when he pled guilty to the charge. Like, this makes no sense. Like, Peter, like, golly, Peter Mandelson's not even great at lying. So I do not understand how he even became the Lord of Darkness if he can't even lie properly. This is absolutely insane. Golly.
I apologise unequivocally for doing so to the women and girls who suffered, we should say as well. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, who has recently had his royal titles stripped, he has consistently denied any wrongdoing. And in terms of the Epstein files, presence in those files is no indication of wrongdoing.
Are you sure about that?
As I say, this week, Peter Mandelson has been in the headlines pretty much every day, and that's because we saw the UK government release the first tranche of documents relating to his appointment as British ambassador to the United States at the end of 2024. Now, he was sacked a year later, and that was because we were uncovering more about the depth of his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, but the files actually said general reputational risk. So whoever put those files together kind of knew that there was this at least tacit association with Jeffrey Epstein. Like, to be honest, if Jeffrey Epstein is what we think he was, like a massive trafficker nonce, you shouldn't even have tacit association with him, let alone a very strong one, as we can see Peter Mandelson and Andrew Mountbatten Windsor had with him. So what are we even doing here? Again, we are seeing the establishment throw us just little trinkets of red meat, sacrificing some of their own just so they can continue in their privileged positions. We cannot let them forget this ever. And everyone in a position of power knew or still knows about this, regardless of how they try and say, well, you know what, I only knew Peter Mandelson in passing. I'm telling you, in a circle that small, all of the rumors or even the facts swirl around very, very quickly.
He has since been arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office for allegedly sharing sensitive government information with Jeffrey Epstein when he was business secretary in 2009.
I'm pretty sure he did that shit.
Peter Mandelson vehemently denies any criminal wrongdoing. But what happened was around all of this, Peter Mandelson's appointment and then sacking as US ambassador, MPs forced the government to release files relating to that appointment, urging the government, Keir Starmer, to be transparent about what was known about this relationship. The Prime Minister's National Security Advisor, Jonathan Powell, described the vetting process as weirdly rushed.
Yeah, Jonathan Powell said that after everything had kind of exploded in Keir Starmer's face, with obviously the release of the Epstein files, which showed the strong link between Peter Mandelson and Jeffrey Epstein, and then he was obviously sacked. And then this Jonathan Powell came in and like looked at everything, and yes, it was weirdly rushed. But even at the time, Keir Starmer was warned of the significant risk in place by appointing Peter Mandelson as UK ambassador to the United States. I'm going to keep saying that Keir Starmer knew all of this.
We now know that the Prime Minister was warned of a possible reputational risk by appointing him to that ambassadorial position. Keir Starmer has apologised. He said that it was a mistake ever appointing Peter Mandelson to that role. At the very least, what you have here is a distraction for the UK government in talking about what it wants to talk about.
Keir Starmer needs to go. Forget the distraction and what the government wants to talk about. What have they got to talk about? Oh yeah, we're going to get rid of trial by jury for offences where the likely sentence or maximum sentence will be 3 years. Oh yeah, a real vote winner there. What else have they got to talk about? Oh yeah, we're sitting on the fence when it comes to Iran. We're not taking a firm position like Spain, who has refused America from using its bases, or just gone like, balls to the wall like Israel. Well, to be honest, the fact that you are allowing American jets to refuel, restock bombs means you are playing an offensive role, but you actually sending your army personnel in the sky with their own bombs is the only thing you haven't done. So you're not even playing a defensive role in this act of aggression on Iran as much as you would like us to believe. So what policies do they want us to see? Like, at the moment, this is the only other action in town. Peter Mandelson was appointed on a lie which Keir Starmer was warned about. This is such a mess. Like, I just want, can we like have a vote of no confidence in the government as a whole? We just go and have a general election in May as opposed to just local elections maybe.
But you've got real questions continuing about the Prime Minister's judgment. So domestically, there is a political impact here, but globally, you also have the reverberating and the continued impact of these Epstein files, of which, it is very likely, quite potentially, more to come.
It's absolutely hilarious that the Epstein files are affecting us much more than Jeffrey Epstein's actual country of origin. This is, you can't make this up. While Keir Starmer is fighting for his life here, Donald Trump's just bombing the hell out of Iran for absolutely no reason. Obviously, I know it's to distract from any more revelations from the Epstein files, but we're just letting privileged old white men destroy the planet right in front of us for no reason but to preserve some type of legacy, maybe. But it's definitely to preserve their concentration of power that they have. We have to do something about this, peacefully, obviously, but we have to do something about this. So yeah, that's the video. Peter Mandelson, the gift that just keeps giving. I'm sure more will come out because ITN or ITV, whoever found this photo, is doing the heavy lifting of mining for gold in those millions of pages released by the US State Department in regards to Jeffrey Epstein. So I imagine more things will come out, and it will just make Keir Starmer's inevitable downfall all the much sweeter. If he wants us to forget all of this, resign now before a more compromising photo or a more compromising email is actually found, or Peter Mandelson ends up being charged for misconduct in public office. One of the two. Keir Starmer, go. No one needs you. Like, I don't think anyone would even notice if you did resign. It's not like this Labour government's doing anything of value to the most vulnerable or the working class. But that's what I think. What do you think? Tell me in the comments section. If you want to spot red flags like Peter Mandelson, Jeffrey Epstein and Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, I have voiced an audiobook, link in the description below. As I said in the beginning, I'm never going to stop doing videos on Keir Starmer, Peter Mandelson and the Jeffrey Epstein links until Keir Starmer completely disappears from public life for good. And to be honest, the sooner the better, because we need to get to advocating for policies and strategies that will benefit the most vulnerable and the wider population in society. So remember, once we understand politics, we will make better choices. Don't forget to hit the buttons for like, subscribe, and I will see you very, very soon. Ciao.